flying 100 miles through the line, and winds are dying. How long I will be here, I do not know. One thing I'm sure of, winds will blow.
Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by to check out the latest from Sailing Emerald Steel. We're thinking about where we're going to head on our next cruise, north or south, and that's what this video is going to be about. But before we get started, we once again like to thank all of you who took the time to leave a comment and a thumb up on our last video. Thanks guys, we appreciate it so much. Sailing in the northern waters of the higher latitudes is much colder with frequent gales. You have to prepare for that with good fall weather gear and warm clothing. The water is very cold here, and it's definitely not the place where you want to fall overboard because you wouldn't last long. Got a little jib and a triple reef mainsail. While sailing in the South Seas is naturally much warmer, you have dependable trade winds which can blow consistently for days on end, sunny skies, and warm, clear water. As you can see, warm clothing is definitely not necessary here. It's pretty much just bathing suits, shorts, t-shirts, sandals, and a sun hat. We're just getting ready to go through the Dodd Narrows, and you can see up there that little narrow area. Both places have their own particular dangers. In the waters of the Pacific Northwest, you have to deal with strong currents. You have to time your travel through the passes at slack water, as most sailboats don't have the power against a 10-knot current, and even going at slack water, you still need to be quick at the helm, as the currents will buffet you around. A lot of people like to watch from shore as all the boats are jockeying for position on their way through the pass. Another thing to remember is that the traffic goes in both directions, and some of the passes are very narrow, so you may have to give way to other boats. In the South Seas, when you're approaching an island, you have to be very careful. There are numerous reefs that usually encircle the islands. It is wise to approach the islands when you have some wind, because if your engine should die, you can get washed up on a reef, as evidenced by the rusting hulks that still lie there. The passes through the reef into the lagoon are usually well marked, but you still need to be cautious and stay in the middle of the channel, as the currents here can also be reasonably strong. In the Pacific Northwest, there are many beautiful anchorages which you can reach within a few hours of sailing in enclosed waters. Here's a view of the anchorage from up higher. She looks like she was meant to be anchored there, I tell you. Her own little setting. Kind of brisk, but it's nice. And yes, the weather is very nice throughout the summer months, with certain areas having warm enough water to swim. And remember guys, the Pacific Northwest has a wide tidal range, so don't end up aground like this guy did. And as is very well known, it does rain a lot here in the North Pacific. But it also rains like hell in the South Pacific. It's actually quite hard to say which place rains harder. But remember, if the place is lush with plants and trees, then it probably rains a lot. It just goes with the territory. The South Seas have many gorgeous areas to anchor, but the anchorages between the islands sometimes require a day or more of sailing on the open ocean to get there. It is a magical place, and I just hate to leave it. It was so nice, but we got to give other people a chance to enjoy it too. We can't just grow roots here. So some of the anchorages have high and peaky views, and others are low-lying atolls. Both have their own particular type of attraction. Julius. Will Jules be able to get past? That's the question. Don't take the easy way now. The Pacific Northwest has the edge in the hiking department, though. There are so many scenic trails to explore, and the weather is much cooler, but you need to keep a sharp eye out for bears and cougars. It's a beautiful place to stop for lunch, or just to rest and take in the beauty of the area. There are so many hidden lakes and trails to discover that one lifetime wouldn't be enough to explore them all. And in the South Pacific, you may feel like you're in the Garden of Eden. It's just that amazing. But, and there's always a but, it can be incredibly hot, muggy, and buggy too. When we go for hikes here, we always wear bug repellent and bring water with us.
Canyon, entry to it, but we came in. We thought we're gonna high peak.
The cruising season in the Pacific Northwest is about 6 months, so unless you're prepared for winter, which includes plenty of gales and storms, then it's time to head south. There's Mount Baker in the distance. Yep, weather's getting chilly right now. Cold front's supposed to be moving through. Supposed to get down to 20 degrees at night, but still we've managed to keep the boat around 60 degrees inside at night, even though we don't run the heater all night. Good insulation really helps.
We were complaining we were too hot in the South Seas, so we came down here to cool off. And here is Susan with her outfit.
In the South Pacific, the winter months of the Southern Hemisphere are the preferred time for cruising. When the weather is ideal, and except for the occasional squall, the perfect time to hop into your dinghy and head out to the reef, where the snorkeling and diving are excellent. Summer is the hurricane season and the weather gets very hot and humid. Most cruisers head out of the area at this time.
Question about north or south. Both places have three places to offer. The only difference is really this here. If you leave Southern California going north, you can go coastal cruising, and that means you can stop on many places on the way up. And once you get up to the British Columbia, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of beautiful anchorages. But if you're going to decide to go to the South Seas, you have to make at least one long ocean passage. That means you pretty much have a choice between going to Hawaii, which is going to be a 2,000 plus miles, or we're going to go to French Polynesia, like the Marquesas, and that's pretty much a 3,000 mile passage. Now, going to Hawaii trip is quite simple. Pretty much you, after several days, you pick up a trade winds and then you just go till you reach Hawaii. Where if you're going to go into Marquesas, the problem is to cross a doldrum. And actually we know from experience that there's several boats, actually when they reached the doldrum, they decided to turn and go towards Hawaii because it was very, very disappointing. Once you hit a doldrum, then you have currents which actually go opposite direction, and you might find yourself 30, 40 miles back instead of going forward. So even if you have an engine and decide to power, you will find out that if you say you power 6 knots, you're actually only making 3.5 knots or so. So you're burning a lot of fuel and really not getting anywhere. So pretty much you have to be steadfast and just realize that they will not last forever, and sooner or later you will cross the doldrums, get to the equator, and then you're going to have a nice south-east trade winds that will push you on towards Marquesas.
And for those that persist and withstand the rigors of the long ocean passage, they won't be disappointed, as they now will have all the South Sea islands within reach. Okay guys, so I guess that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. And if you did, please don't forget to leave a thumb up and a comment. We love hearing from all of you. And we'd also like to thank all the people that support our channel through Patreon and PayPal. Thank you so much for your support, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.